Hello again. Welcome to a new video tutorial. This time we'll try to explain queue structure, how they are supposed to be set up, um, parent queues and sub queues. So usually when you want a mission that has a sequence to it, so things have to happen sequentially. You will be using mostly sub queues. So you create a queue that does stuff, and you create a sub queue to that one that does stuff once the previous on the parent queue is done, and so on and so forth. In some occasions, you will want to have two or more queues in the same level because you want maybe stuff to happen at the same time, or you will have multiple options available. So say you create a queue. I'll be explaining that in detail later, so don't worry. But just for now, you in some cases you will want to have a queue set up that say sends you to a trading dock, and another queue will send you to a shipyard, and you want that depending on the previous action in the parent queue, this decision will be made by the player, so you don't know that beforehand. So once the player makes his choice, you can then create triggers that one of those two same level queues will be executed, and the mission goes on from there. Sounds rather complicated. It's not. This is some occasions you will not be using subqueues. I'll have an example here. As you can see, I typed quite a bit. I hope I can explain. So I'll go and just explain the whole thing here, and I hope we get to that part. So I set up a top level like last time. I just shortened it a bit for I hate typing. So again, I rather like to use this player name as a first check because it gives control. It's good for testing. Obviously, if you once you finished coding the mission, it's rather better to use a check that will trigger automatically without the need of the player hand. But for testing purpose, it's a good method. Anyway, so I put again the player name check. Player goes in, puts tutorial, and stuff happens. So I set up a value here that I call it trigger value. Again, as you can see, I named it the same name as the queue it's created in instead of this. So I create and set it to 0. I'll be using this value to trigger the subqueue here. But for now, I need it to be 0 to make sure it exists. So because once this queue is active, this one will be loaded, and should this not have any conditions, it will trigger before this action is over. So I wanted to wait until the stuff is done and only do it when whatever value is set to 1. So in this case, the way it is due to, I wanted to find the station, and this station I reference named it target station. So again, queue name, object name, and it should find any station that I can dock on. So it has docking allowed. So it's a flag you put within the node. So you make sure the player is allowed to dock. If you don't put that, it will find the station, and then you want to play the dock there, and it is not allowed. Your mission will break. So checking here that docking is allowed is a good move. So I want it to be Argon, and I want it to be a dock. So dock can be a trading dock, equipment dock, an outpost, and Golden Temple and stuff like that. So obviously the Golden Temple can't be because it's not Argon, but you get what I mean. So I want it to be start the search at coordinate x3, y3. Now I can't remember which sector that is. It's not really important because I put in a radius of 10 jumps. So it will start searching from 0, which is sector 3-3, and 10 jumps away, any station, randomly. So any one it will find that matches this criteria, it will bang, set it up, and name it, reference name it this way. Now, this small hint here, when you put this, it only counts sectors that has jump gates. So sectors with no gates, say like Aldrin, will not be taken into consideration because they have no active connection. Same goes for the hub, I think, unless you have it connected. I'm not sure. It's been a while. So whatever. So just make sure it does not count not connected sectors. So once it finds the station, it will reference with this name. But and here I'll address some of the do-if powers as asked in the forums. To make sure the code has found a station, because technically it could be that there is no station with those criteria within this range, so it will find no station. And because we need this station to be there, there are several ways you can do that. You could create your own. I just decided to use a do-if. So a do-if will just check if these two values are true or not. In this case, I put in a do-if to check the object exists. Again, you can go and look up this value variables in the director HTML. And so it will check object exists, reference name of whatever object we want to check if it's there. So object exists will retrieve 1 or 0. It's explained here. Where is it? I now have a PDF file kindly sent me by user. Oh no, spelling Dill Pickle. Okay. Is that correct? Thank you for that. No idea why I didn't use it, but promise I'll do. Anyway, so object exists. What is it? Control F. Okay, so see, in the description it says 1 if the specified object exists, 0 if not. So that's all we want. Change back. So I asked if it's 0, so it means it does not exist. Cancel the whole thing. So and everything from this queue below, meaning all sub queues to that, are gone. I mean cancelled. Mission stops here, nothing happens anymore, bang, it's finished. Unless you revive the queue again with a reset, there is no more action going on here. So as you can see, I comment out the reset because obviously I can't do both. Once it's imagine I would have done this. Oops, delete that. So if I had the cancel queue here and the reset queue below, as the MD goes through the actions from top to bottom, only the actions, not the queues. The actions from top to bottom. It will cancel the queue first, so there's no way you can reset it again because it's already cancelled. So it's cancelled, it's gone, and nothing happens. So it's done. Same goes for the reset. But if I would change it, around, once the reset triggers, bam, it's gone. So I either can cancel or reset. I can't do both. Like if I wanted to reset, I would have to cancel it, and in a different queue, which is not a subqueue to this one, have a way to an action with reset and revive the queue. So hope that was understandable. So we'll let the reset for now. So once should he not find any station within those parameters, I can go and say, okay, if it's not, go back and reset, and it will, loop until it does. Obviously, this is not very good thing to do because it can go on and on and on forever until one station pops up. So cancel is so much better, and revive it once the conditions are more favorable, or instead of cancel it, just create one station that you need. That's how usually it's done. You create one in the spot you thought it's a good one instead, and then you have your station there, and you can name it with the same reference and use that. So that is a do if. So it only goes do if this is true or not, it will go through. If it's not, if the station exists, it goes do if object exists exact 0, and it's not true because it exists. It does nothing. It just skips. It goes over, forgets about the do if, does absolutely nothing. So if your check here is regardless of if it's true, it will do whatever it's inside. If it's not true, it just ignores it and moves on. If you want to make sure something is done, regardless if it's true, not regardless, but in both cases, if it's true or not, a much more powerful node here called do choose. So do choose is whatever it says. It will choose between whatever you tell him to. So I put the same condition here, and I say do choose from do if or do when object exists equals 0, cancel the queue. So should the station not exist, it will go and cancel the queue like before. Obviously, this would need to be deleted. In the case that the station does exist, it will do the other, because this is not true. This is not true. So it will move on to the next one and do the otherwise. This is a good thing, because you can have as many do when as you want. Do when, whatever. Do when, some more. So like having several conditions, meaning if the station exists, if it's an argon station, if